Imagine my dread seeing those 2 letters. With that horrific Gundam mess fresh in the memory, I approached this one with serious trepidation. Luckily, my fears were unwarranted, as SD Lupin Sansei is actually based off a completely different anime. Lupin III is a manga series based on the character Arsène Lupin III, the gentleman thief from Maurice Leblanc's series of novels. It has been described rather aptly as James Bond meets Charlie's Angels with Scooby-Doo sensibilities, and I couldn't be happier with the picture this paints. This was not the first game based on this intellectual property. There was an arcade cab released in 1980, as well as a Famicom title. I do enjoy the mammoth names that a lot of games were given in Japan, sometimes in 2 or 3 parts. Sometimes these long-winded Japanese titles translate into bizarre phrases unrelated to the game. Kinko Yaburi Daisakusen basically means safe-cracking operation, which is shockingly accurate. Sansei means the third, as in Lupin the Third, and that's who you're playing as here. There are various floors on each level, and your job is to find a key that will open a safe. Do that, and you keep the millions of dollars stored inside. There are detectives and police wandering around on your case, and you need to avoid contact with them, which is instant death. There will be somewhere on each floor a small box. Hold B while standing on it to completely detonate that floor, and jump down to the next one. Pretty violent, eh? Also, you can find cell phones which call a sharpshooter guy to come help you. He also walks around the level shooting at your enemies for you. A 4-way arrow destroys tiles in the cardinal directions for a moment, killing any enemy that happens to be standing on them. Holding B to jump up and down on an empty tile can raise it up 2 spaces, allowing you to jump off and clear gaps that you otherwise couldn't make, as well as providing you with a safe space that ordinary enemies can't reach you on. You might also find these rotating arrows. These will cart you off in the direction the arrow is pointing when you step on it, invariably into a pit, usually best avoided. The controls are reasonably responsive. An all too common occurrence with games like this is where your inputs get swallowed, leading to a cheap death. Typically, any life loss is fair, although the one aspect that potentially was a little harsh is the time limit. All floors in a level need to be completed in the same period with no replenishments, and it demands constant movement. Any dalliance will no doubt result in you running out at some point. It perhaps could be seen as a little lazy that the game takes place on these nondescript floating tiles, instead of an actual decorated world. It helps to emphasize the gameplay mechanics, but I can't help but feel that some graphical titivation would have gone a long way in making this game more memorable. As it is, SD Lupin Sansei is a slightly above average puzzle platformer that could be worth it for a fan of the series.